The Grade 1 Pacific Classic is race 10 on an 11 race card Saturday at Del Mar, and it marks the return of lightly raced, brilliant, undefeated Flightline. He's the 1-5 favorite in the Pacific Classic. Now, this race has been run since 1991, the Pacific Classic. There have been 8 horses go to post as the odds on favorite. 3 of them won. Gentlemen, Accelerate, Maximum Security. But 5 odds on favorites lost the Pacific Classic. Those include Best Pal, Cigar, General Challenge, Medaglia d'Oro, and Arrogate. And I only bring it up just to reemphasize there is no such thing as a sure thing. I believe that Flightline will win the Pacific Classic. That's no big secret. But stranger things have happened, and Flightline has actually never been around 2 turns. I don't think that's an issue either. He is fast. He is brilliant. He's one of the fastest horses to race in California in a number of years. And he is an established top class horse around 1 turn. Can he carry his speed 2 turns? We're going to find out on Saturday. His most recent start, Flightline, was in the Met Mile. It was in early June at Belmont Park. And let's take a look at the stretch run of the Met Mile. And this is after Flightline had all kinds of early trouble. He didn't get away real well. He got stuck in behind horses. He had to wheel outside. He finally found room. And from the top of the stretch home, it was all over. This is Flightline dazzling in his 4th consecutive win. He won the Met by 6 lengths. He earned a 112 Beyer speed figure, an outstanding performance against a couple of racing fit horses. Happy Saver and Speaker's Corner were good going into the Met Mile. But Flightline, he won with something left. And ever since that race, the Pacific Classic at Del Mar has been his target. Every Saturday morning, he has worked sensationally over the Del Mar track for this comeback race on Saturday in the Pacific Classic. Can he stay 2 turns? Jockey Flavian Pratt says to trainer John Sadler, that is not an issue. In fact, if anything, 2 turns might even be better for Flightline. He galloped out like a monster after the Met Mile. He's drawn outside where he has options. He can either make the lead and just go right on with it, or he can sit just off the pace, depending on how the race unfolds early on. And Flightline is going to be very tough to beat. He's the 1-5 favorite. So really the smart thing to do in this race is just to not bet, unless you think the Flightline is vulnerable, which I do not. But there are other good horses in this field, including Royal Ship and Country Grammar, who finished 1-2 July 30th in the Del Mar, in the San Diego handicap, early in the Del Mar meet. Let's take a look at the stretch run and watch Royal Ship rallying wide on the outside. Country Grammar was no match for Royal Ship. But here's the thing. Country Grammar was making his first start in 4 months, and his first start since winning the Dubai World Cup in March in Dubai. So he had a right to come up short. Royal Ship was better than Country Grammar on this day. But Country Grammar needed the start. He wants every bit of a 1.25 miles. And I expect Country Grammar to improve significantly from his comeback. Now, Country Grammar and Royal Ship have run against each other previously in a Grade 1, and Country Grammar actually won that race. It was the Gold Cup a year ago at Santa Anita. These 2 horses are very evenly matched. There's another top horse in this field that we should at least discuss, even though he hasn't started since late April, and I'm referring to Express Train. Express Train has always been a top horse, but this winter at Santa Anita, he took his game to a new level. 3 consecutive graded stakes wins, including this victory in the Grade 1 Santa Anita handicap. And this is Express Train on the outside. The shipper Warrant made Express Train run the length of the lane in the big cap. Express Train was even money. He had a fight on his hands, but he did what good horses do: dig in, fight back, and refuse to lose. And Express Train won by a head. Now, next time out, Stiletto Boy, who had a sensational workout going into the Californian. Stiletto Boy just ran away from Express Train, but Express Train, he came out of the Californian sore. He did not like the going that day, the main track at Santa Anita, and he came out sore, and that's why we haven't seen Express Train since late April. He was considered a possible starter for the San Diego, But John Sheriff's, his trainer, said he needed more time. So he's bringing Express Train into the Pacific Classic off of works unraced since late April. It's a tall order, but at least we know that Express Train can stay a mile and 1/4. That's something that Flightline has yet to do. There's one crazy horse in this race that I think has a chance to maybe hit the board if one of the top horses, the top contenders, should misfire. The top contenders being Flightline, Country Grammar, and Royal Ship. And the long shot I'm referring to is listed at 30-1. He's number one, Extra Hope. Extra Hope finished third last time out in a grade 3 dirt marathon. It was the Cougar, but he was wide on every single turn. You can't expect to win a 3-turn race by staying 3 wide every step of the way. It was a horrible trip. You can't stay wide in a turf route or a dirt marathon for that matter. But that's where Extra Hope was, 3 wide every step of the way. He only got beat a length and a quarter. And since that race, Extra Hope has improved significantly in the morning, according to trainer Richard Mandela. Now, look, Extra Hope is not good enough to win the Pacific Classic, but stranger things have happened, and I would not be at all surprised if Extra Hope can get a better trip this time. He's drawn inside where he should theoretically save ground. He's in form. His last start was better than looked, and he should be completely overlooked by bettors. I look for Extra Hope to run well. He can't win the race, but maybe he can hit the board. The Pacific Classic on Saturday is all about Flightline. Unfortunately, he's the 1-5 favorite, as I mentioned earlier. The smart betting strategy, probably not to bet at all, but hey, we're gamblers. So I'm going to probably fashion some sort of play where I insist that Extra Hope somehow hits the board in the Pacific Classic, a race that is expected to be won by 1-5 favorite Flightline. It's race number 10 on Saturday at Del Mar.